everybody. How's everybody doing? Really important information today, so if you guys can share so we can start. If you guys can share so we can start. Really important information today on this morning. God bless everybody. I will wait for a few people on the feed so we can start. I'm going to wait for a few people on the feed. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Voice. Good morning to everybody. God bless everybody in my city of Tijuana. God bless everybody in my country of Mexico. And also, God bless the United States of America. How is everyone doing? Much love to you also, and to everybody. Let's thank God for every single moment, every single breath. And let's pray every day for this evilness and this sickness of socialist and liberal people so they can understand that what they're doing, they're wrong. God bless everybody. Let's thank God for 2 hands, 2 legs, a heart that we can feel, a mind that we can think, a voice that we can talk, and eyes that we can see. How is everyone doing this morning? Really important topics today, as 2 of them are politically attached to the caravan, and 1 of them, it's amazing. I'm so happy for this. Tijuana sometimes does, the government of Tijuana sometimes does something, extremely disorganized, irresponsible, and then they do something real good. So they did something magnificent, and I will hold on to that news till I finish, because they just created a free animal clinic for everybody that is a dog carer, a dog rescuer. So you won't, so people that donate to people that they are rescuing dogs, now you got a free clinic over here in Tijuana. We're going to talk about that on the last part of the news, so you guys won't be spending thousands and thousands of dollars or, hundreds of dollars. Now we got a free clinic over here for rescuing dogs. That is really amazing. It just opened 2 days ago, and it was all over the news. They just sent me the link. I will post the link later on for you guys to see. Good morning to everybody. God bless everybody in my country of Mexico, in the United States of America, but this beautiful city that is, where I live in, that is Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Topics of today. First of all, let's touch on the shelter that we visited. The shelter that we visited. Which is the shelter that we visited? The new federal funded shelter. The new federal funded shelter, I shown you from the outside. They don't let nobody in, whether you're a worker or you're a social worker or you're from a donation company. And even if you're a donation company or a donation nonprofit organization, even if you're that, they don't let you in where the migrants are. They're really private with that, and they are really protective of the migrant life and of the migrant private life. So I'm showing you from outside. They have security. They have the security gate. They have a security guard, armed security guard when you're going in to the parking lot. They have another armed security guard in the front desk. They have somebody right there working at the front desk, and they have docks on the back, the loading docks for people that want to when they donate bobtails and all that stuff. They have like 6 loading docks. They have more than 350 portable bathrooms for people and for migrants, and all this stuff. And also they have 5 officials of the National Guard. This federal funded shelter has become nationwide, one of the most known, federal funded shelters at terms of technology, and attendance to migrants, as lawyers. Also the commission and the International Commission of Human Rights is in there in the shelter. Also, you got the medical department. Also, they got a nursery. They got a school for children. They got all types of things that it will help the migrants feel more comfortable and they feel more secure. And also, it's a shelter that is more attached to the International Pact of Immigration, which makes you think that the government of Mexico now is fully working with the United Nations, and they're obeying and they're abiding by the law of the United Nations, not by our constitutional law. So it's another thing that is really, hard and difficult to understand how, we are working now and differently with different rules and regulations that they are by the United Nations. Which is disgusting in my opinion, but that is the way it is. So they did a press conference 2 days ago, 2 days ago, giving the expenses and also what they have spent on the grand opening, on electricity, on water, on food, on their expectations on what they were going to make regarding the federal funds. It goes to 2 points of view that I want to show you. One, why are they making an analysis on how much they are not making and how much they're supposed to be making? That particularly, it opens up, my eye. I'm thinking that this is a business. This is not for helping. This is not with the intentions of help, a migrant. This is not for the intention of, creating an atmosphere for a migrant and helping him to migrate or get a better life or a particular stay because they are running away from fear. Now, the municipal government gave a press conference saying that they're not making enough to maintain the shelter because the shelter is not as they were speculating too. This with what is happening in Tapachula. What is happening in Tapachula, the municipal government of Tijuana is saying that the politics of what is happening in Tapachula, that they're not giving them the visas of transit immediately like they're supposed to be giving them. Back in the day, when the first caravan started and the second and the third caravan, the visa of transit, it was given between the 4 and 6 hours. Real quick, like that, 4 and 6 hours. Now, the visa of transit is given between the 4, 6 months and a year. That has backfired them into, the attendance of shelters over here. There's no migrants, there's no money. There's no migrants, there's no donations. There's no money, there's no nonprofit organizations going and, and getting money out of, court cases, legal cases, and all that stuff. So it's affecting. The visa of transit is affecting, and this is why the activism, this is why all these lawyers that they're working over here, they're against the politics of Trump because, deporting them is not getting them nowhere. They're not making money out of court cases, and they're not getting migrants, so they're not getting money when they get over here to the borders. So now, this federal funded shelter that is right here in the city of Tijuana gave a statement that they're spending, look at this amount, man. A lot of homeless people right here in Tijuana. There's a lot of homeless people right here in Tijuana. Tijuana is a place where there's a lot of addictions, and there's a lot of homeless kids, and there's a lot of homeless veterans. There's a lot of homeless, not veterans. There's a lot of homeless deported Mexicans that they're always, wandering around in the city without nothing to eat, without, proper documentation and everything. So they gave out a statement on how much they're spending monthly. How much they're spending monthly. And you will be amazed on how much they're spending monthly with the amount of migrants that they have. That migrant center has the capacity for 3,000 people. That migrant center has the capacity for 3,000. With, if you don't count the parking lot, if the parking lot gets filled, it will have the capacity for 5,000 people. 5,000. So, how many migrants they have in that shelter? How many do you think? They got less than 500 migrants. So they're spending more than $25,000 per month on less than between 300 and 400 and between 3 and 500 migrants. Imagine that. $25,000, more than $25,000 per month they're spending on 3 to 500 migrants. And I'm saying why it's oscillating between 3 and 500. And I will tell you why. Because they come and go, they come and go, they come and go, they come and go. So it's a lot of money. And now another dependency that is to defend the one that gives the analysis on the budgets that the federal government spends. They gave a press conference saying that is an unreasonable amount, that is a ridiculous amount, and that they're spending a lot of money on a shelter that is not even working to its fullest capacity. This brings another controversial thing with citizens of Tijuana, that they are now complaining about why their taxes are being led to a shelter that is not even working to the fullest capacity. 1. 2, why we're spending $25,000 when we are in debt. The city of Tijuana is in debt thanks to the last governor, corrupt rat Kiko Vega, that he stole thousands and thousands and thousands of pesos, and he left the educational system without money and almost a year to teachers without pay. So we are in debt. Now, another thing, why are we spending federal funds on people that they're not even from the country, and this amount of more than $25,000 with a shelter not even to the fullest capacity? Amazing. So what does this tell you? Another thing, it tells you that they're talking about numbers when it comes to this shelter. They talk about numbers. We're spending a lot of money. Migrants are not coming. It is because of the system. And Tapachula, the Tapachula is not letting them cross with the visa of transit, and that's why we're not getting. And this is because of the policies of Trump. So let me get this straight. You're complaining about the policies of Trump, and you complain about the visa of transit in Tapachula. Migrants are not a business. 1. Migrants are not a business. They're not. So you're complaining about you're not getting enough money to pay because, the nonprofit organizations, they're not going to your federal funded shelter to give a lot of money because you don't got enough migrants. So you're complaining about you're spending a lot of money on something that is not giving you nothing back. So it is a business. Again, putting out there for everybody to see that this migrant caravan and all these migrant situation, it is a business for the government. It is a business for the government of AMLO. It is a business for the federal fund, for the federal government. It is not of the concerns of the federal government to the security of the migrants and where they're going to stay and where they're going to go. Yes, they made a really beautiful shelter with all these amenities and all these, accommodations for all of them. But if the federal funded shelter is not working to the fullest capacity and is not giving them a profit, they are going to close it. That makes you think that a lot of nonprofit organizations, they are not, that the system that Trump is putting is working. That all of this system on stopping the irregular migration it's working. Why? Because a lot of organizations and nonprofit organizations, they are getting directly affected in the pockets. This is working. It is working. The system is working. The 5% tariff is working. And, you know, the priorities of always your country, people first, and helping people, but not in this massive amount. It is working, people. It is absolutely working. So this brings up to another concern in another topic, that the San Diego Union Tribune, a reporter from the Union Tribune, that is supposedly the Union Tribune is a liberal newspaper. She put out a column. This reporter put out a column saying that the CBP, the Correctional Border Patrol, the California Border Patrol, that I think that is California Border Patrol. I think that is CBP, the Border Patrol. They did a false report and a false identification on a migrant that is seeking the asylum. And that is what they've been doing for a long time on this asylum cases, to the particular point of this is when they go to court and they show their document, the document will be denied, or the asylum court date will be denied, because the name was filled wrong on the application. This, they're saying that the California Border Patrol and the CBP officers, they are doing wrong paperwork for the purpose of them doing it on purpose, so the asylum seeking will be denied constantly and they will get deported. This is a case of a migrant. This is a case of a migrant that asked for the political asylum. His name was filled out wrong. He went to the court to apply for this political asylum. His asylum was denied at that particular point. So they're using the wrong term. They're using the term so they will be harmful, so they will be victimized, so it will be wrong. That is deported. It's not reported. It's not deported. It's returned back. Is returned back. So this migrant, because of the paperwork, got returned back to Tijuana. Now, this is my point of view. And you guys know that my point of view, they're saying, you're non-biased. I'm non-biased. I'm just going to say it the way that I think. This is my point of view. Now, to this particular reporter from the Union Tribune, and this particular journalist, writer, columnist from the Union Tribune, San Diego Union Tribune, I want one column from you. One. I'm asking you for one column since this one. I will research your name and I will research all your past columns regarding to the caravan and the asylum seeking. One that talks about the fake families. Just give me one of the 4,800 fake families that they have crossed illegally since 2018 to September of 2019. One. I want you to tell me just one column that you have wrote about the 600 kids that they have been recycled and the fake marriages that nonprofit organizations and nonprofit lawyers, they are in our city of Tijuana operating, and they are creating. One column. I just want one column of you. And also, ultimately, I want one column of you before all of this, before all the, the things that you've been saying, about how many obligations now the United States Border Patrol has that they're not even on their payroll, they're not even on their contract, that they are doing now. Filling out paperwork every night babysitting people every night, extensively, doing obligations that is not their obligations. Their obligations is to protect the border. One column. Tell me just one column that describes the obligations. Now, one paperwork, you're making a big deal out of it. But you're not talking about the fake families, the fake marriages, and all the trafficking that is occurring in the caravan, and all the trafficking that is occurring in my city. You don't live over here. You don't see things from one perspective. You don't see the reality and the truth about every shelter and how these migrants are being lied to, that everybody is getting the asylum. Everybody. You don't tell, and your biased paperwork and your biased newspaper, you don't tell everybody that the asylum seeking have the 3% chance of getting the asylum. You don't go on your newspaper and talk about the United Nations Pact of Immigration and how Canada is a good option for them, so they won't be getting fake paperwork like you say. I don't see you doing a column about that. This is the problem, people, with this liberal newspapers. This is a problem with all these infiltrated people in the caravans. This is the problem with all this infiltrated fake wannabe activists and all this stuff that they are reporting on the caravan. This is the problem. They don't talk about the real problem. It's like the Congress people. Rashida Tlaib comes over here and she's saying about separation of families and all this stuff and the wall that is bad and all this. And you ask them one question, Rashida, what do you think about the massive trafficking of children that is occurring in the caravan? He cannot answer you. He cannot answer you. That is the problem. They don't talk about the real problems. Why it was denied? Do you know why it was denied? Do you know why probably the Border Patrol officer or the ICE agent made a mistake? And if they're making the mistake on purpose, they should be held accountable. Don't worry about it. They should be held accountable. Yes, held accountable for not filling up the paperwork. That doesn't justify that person is going to get the asylum immediately. Why? Because you're going to victimize the situation. And you're going to use your psychology of victimization to saying, oh, because he filled out the paperwork wrong, he almost got a death threat and he almost died in Mexico and he's running away from here, and we're going to also sue for psychological and damages and also sue for this and sue for that. Your tactics and your psychology and all that you use, all these liberal newspapers and all these liberals and Democrat newspapers from the left, everybody can see through the lines now. Everybody can see through the lines. So this California Border Patrol officer that probably made a mistake, and if it is true, I'm not saying if it is true or not, but if it is true, if he made a mistake and they're blowing it out of proportion, I want you to blow out of proportion everything. Don't blow up out of proportion that it was just one case that they made a mistake about it. Now, if they've been making mistakes constantly, put somebody in there that it can actually, be in charge of the situation of filling out the paperwork. Now, if it is not even a responsibility of the United States filling out paperwork at that amount, well, that is another topic. But don't come to me saying that because of that, a lot of these people been getting denied the asylum. With a lot of these people are economic migrants. In a lot of these asylum cases, they're not asylum cases. And the problem with journalists like you guys is that every asylum case you wanted to be approved. And that is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. So please, I will post this article from this person So you can, actually go and question her about the fake families, about the, lawyers, practicing law unlawfully in my city, in my country, violating our Constitution, about Congress people coming into our country when they is the fourth city, Michigan, in the United States, that is the most violent, and then you're coming over here to Tijuana for what? All these news people and all these newspaper journalists, if they want to attack the reality and the truth, you're gonna get hit back with what is it? And I'm expecting a response from you in terms of, why don't you go out in the open, like you're, going out in the open and talking about only what a mistake has done to one particular individual. Now, why don't you talk about fake families and the trafficking of children and the violence that the caravan has brought? When you get into the caravan topic, it's a lot of topics that you need to open. And you need to be sensitive about the children and the mothers. You need to be really sensitive with that topic. That's why when I go to a shelter, I particularly ask first the pastor or the person in charge, can I go in there? And they would say like, yes, but this family, no, don't even record. This family, don't even record. You can record and ask questions to all these people. And after you ask questions to all these people, and after you go around the shelter, this is a particular part that you can't go. Okay? Good. All right. You got to be respectful. Don't show the kids. Okay? I won't show the kids. I understand. So you go with the purpose of getting the truth out. And you go to the purpose to the shelters to educate the migrants and tell them, hey, you know what? No, I don't know. Okay, do you know that you can migrate to Canada? No, I don't know also. Have activists in Americans have come to the shelter all the time? Have they told you about the United Nations Pact of Immigration? No. Have they educated you that you can ask for asylum in Canada? No. Have they told you that you have really slight, small chances of getting the political asylum? No, they told me that it was real easy. A cabrón. And you want to be non-biased. If you want me, Oscar Blue, to be non-biased because you're saying that I'm biased, I'm all slant to the right. If you want me to be non-biased, please tell the truth also. And tell all these people that they have really small possibilities on getting the asylum first. Teach them about the United Nations Pact of Immigration, what is happening in our borders and how it's affecting these caravans. Teach them that there's fake families. Teach them that there's violence in the caravans. Teach them that they can migrate correctly, peacefully, and with a purpose. Teach them all of this. Why are you cheating on the system? Why? Why you want to cheat on the system if you want to be a non-bias? So that's the topic on regarding this reporter from the San Diego Union Tribune putting him a column about a California Border Patrol officer supposedly filling out the paperwork of the asylum-seeking person wrong on purpose. So they are practically going to sue the city or sue the California Border Patrol. I don't know who they're going to sue, and they want the officer to get sanctioned because of what he did, and also they're expecting that particular individual to get the asylum. So the judge, what the judge did was order the paperwork to be brought again, clarified and understandable, and also filled out the paperwork correctly, so the asylum seeker his case can be heard. Now, you know how the left works. They want the damages to be recovered, psychological damages, and the protection and the security of the migrant, and la 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 la. So that is going to be discussed in court also. They are pretending for to put people from the left inside their offices so they can verify paperwork as it's being filled up. You can't do that. That is real stupid. You can't do that. There's an organization in the United States that is called ICE, and there's people that is called Border Patrol, that they're in charge of that. You can't be putting one of you in there. It's like it doesn't work like that. Let's just put one of the left right here, to balance everything out and to just so we can verify everything. Craig, I know John. Let's put John in there. Like you can't be doing that. You can't do that. It's like it's unreasonable what you guys are asking. You want to change the law. You want to change procedures. You want to break barriers. You want to break borders. You can't do that. You want to be non-biased? Speak the truth. And if you're going to be biased, don't start talking about that guy is non-biased. Because you guys are just putting your leg in the mud. And then you put another one, and then you put another one, and you're stuck in the middle. And everybody doesn't believe you because we can see through the lines what you're doing. So, topics of the day: shelter over here in Tijuana not getting the benefits that they are getting. Good morning to everybody. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News at America's Voice. Topics of the day: shelter over here in Tijuana. They're not getting the benefit and the payments that they were expected to do. This tells you that the migrant shelter is a business. It's not, something that is something that is important for them as attention. Another topic of today, California Border Patrol officer filled out the paperwork wrong for asylum seeker, and they are blaming him for doing it on purpose. And they're blaming a lot of police, Border Patrol officers that they're filling out paperwork wrongly, so they will get returned back to Tijuana, and their asylum seeking, process will be denied. Also, really important today, a magnificent day today. Great news for all those people that donate for nonprofit organizations that they rescue dogs over here in Tijuana, and in people from San Diego that I have a lot of people from San Diego that they donate to people that they rescue dogs or they rescue animals. Great news today in Tijuana. The municipal mayor, the mayor of Tijuana, because he saw, there's a necessity of, a lot of dogs that they are, on the street. And he said, you know what? A lot of veterinarians got together and they filled out an application to the government to create a shelter and a clinic for dogs. A free shelter and clinic for dogs in Tijuana. That is great. I think that is magnificent. That means that a lot of people are not going to be spending thousands and hundreds of dollars on, on donations. And, it's not going to affect the veterinarians, but it's clearly going to help all those dog people rescuing people. So now the capacity for this clinic and this shelter is operating. It has a capacity for 25,000 citizens. If you have a dog that you need to that it needs to be rescued or taken care of, that clinic it is open now. I'm going to do an interview probably on this weekend on that clinic, or show you that clinic. I will be posting the link on my page for people that want to help the clinic also and donate to the clinic. And it is a governmental clinic. So what they're doing is, it is a free clinic for attention for dogs and for attention for animals, which I think it is magnificent, which I think that is great. It is a great idea. Kudos to the mayor. That's what I was saying, that sometimes the government of Tijuana does something real great, and then they messed up, and they do 5 things wrong, and then they do one thing great, and then they messed up and they do 10 things wrong. So, excuse me. So for all the people that they're worried about, particular nonprofit organizations, or you're like, hey, you know what? You can tell the donors, or you can tell the people, hey, you know what? There's a clinic now. There's a free clinic for attention for dogs that is open, and I will post the exact address for everybody that is watching, it is open now. The mayor went over there to the inauguration, the grand opening of the clinic for dogs. I don't know the specifications, but you know, it is great for dog rescuers. I think so, that they can now take them over there and they can take care of them or get free attention with the appointment and all that stuff and the right paperwork filled out. I think that is great. I think that is magnificent. I think that it's outstanding. I think that is phenomenal. I think that is excellent. Really, I think that this idea, this idea that everybody was putting, all these veterinarians, that they were putting this idea to the government, and it came through, and now it is a fact. This clinic is open. I will post the link for everybody that is watching, and for all those dog rescuers, you already have a clinic, so you won't be spending all this money. So you already have a clinic that you can take, and you can help if you're gonna help the dogs on the street, you already have a free clinic that you can go. That, I think that is magnificent. Everybody's talking about the coronavirus. I will jump into that. I will ask Jim Bambi on probably on Saturday or Sunday to do an interview. Jim is pretty, knowledgeable on what is going on with the coronavirus, and I will probably ask Jim if he wants to come in an interview on Saturday or Sunday to talk about the coronavirus and how it's affecting and how and why this coronavirus just appeared like this. This goes for the individual that they're saying that there's a case in San Antonio. There's a case also in San Diego that they just said about the coronavirus. I read it a couple of days ago that they had a case in San Diego of coronavirus. So that is practically what is happening with the coronavirus in our cities and in our borders. God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching me. I will be posting the link of the clinic in a little bit, in a little bit. And, we'll be posting it for you guys to get information. And if you guys want to help, this free clinic for dogs and for animals. Magnificent. I think that is great. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody. And, today is a big day. Today is a huge day, as my partner, Conservative Anthony, is going to have his debate. 200 people are being held in Georgia. For what? Miss Sonia Rainey. Today is a big day. Anthony's going to have his first debate. I think that we have come a long road of expectations. A lot of hatred people. They attacked, so-called attacked. I don't call it attack. An attack is physically getting attacked. An attack is, it's being attacked, really. This social media fighting is just, chismes, gossip. It's just stuff like that. So, Anthony has been through a lot of stuff, but always late at night when I talk to him, FaceTime, and we have the last conversation before we go to sleep or something like that. We make jokes out of it. Really, we make jokes out of it, and we laugh about it, and we're like, you know what, bro? It's too much that you're doing. It's too much that you're doing that a lot of people are, in a way attacking you, so they want you to stop because you are a really important candidate and you have a big chance. So that practically puts you on another level, and it puts you on a level that people are going to be continuously talking about you. If you were not important, if you were irrelevant, and if you were a person that didn't have no possibilities whatsoever on winning, not even going against Veronica, but winning the primary, believe me, they would not even make a fake page out of you. They would not mention you every day. They would not make memes of you and all that stuff. You're really important to these people. So that means that you are going somewhere, and you are going places, and you are really important for your city, and you have a big heart, and you have guts, and you have really important stuff to offer to your city and to your country. So that's why you can't stop. That's why you got to keep going. That's why you got to get up. That's why they're going to stab you in the back. They're going to throw rocks at your back. They're going to throw rocks on your head. They're going to talk bad about you, and it's going to get worse. And you're going to stand strong and stand tall and be like, I'm right here. Give it to me. I'm right here. Come and get it. Come and get it. That is you. And I'm really proud of him. And today is going to be a great day, which I'm really excited about. I'm hoping that he, that everything goes well, and that it's a peaceful and, political debate. Not a dramatic debate. It's a peaceful and political debate. And remember this, everybody. One of the policies of your president of the United States is second chances in life. One of the policies of the president of your country is second chances. And on the State of the Union, he did something magnificent with with the criminal law that he passed, and he had somebody right there that he gave a second chance. And he was sitting down in the State of the Union, and he mentioned him, and everybody got up and applauded him. Those are magnificent things in life. God works in mysterious ways, in magnificent ways, and it changes people so they can become better and they can help society. That is when you see the miracles of God working. God bless you, partner. You're going to do great. God bless you at every minute that you walk, at every second that you speak.